Guys, welcome back, and it's episode 2 today of the Conspirators Club. So, if this is the second episode you've watched, you're now a fully fledged member. And if it's your first time watching, well, this is your initiation. So, it's only right to go and get yourself a nice cup of English tea or a coffee, and let's have a deep dive into today's subject. So, for context, earlier in the week on my other social media platforms, I posted a video about red rooms like snuff movies and live feeds where you can witness some of the most horrific, unthinkable things known to man. I'm guessing some of you have not seen this, so we know where we're up to. Let's watch the clip.
What would you say is the most disturbing thing you've seen on the dark web?
Somebody paying to watch a live stream of a baby getting their skull on and crushed while the baby was alive, of course, and people paying to watch that live stream on a website.
How is that possible?
You can put anything you want on the internet, so...
I don't know what's more disturbing, the actual act or the fact that there's a market for it. And it makes you think we really have no idea what these rich elite people are doing behind these paywalls and what kind of things they're paying for. They'll have you believe that snuff movies and these types of things are just urban legends. But where there is demand, there is a market. Just remember the 2012 case of Luca Magnotta in Montreal. I think it was called The Man and the Ice Pick, something like that. The police investigators struggled to watch it and became nauseous and developed trauma from what they seen. These people watch it for entertainment. Let that just tell you how sick some people truly are. So this clip has done really well, and in 3 days it's had over 1.7 million views, a lot of comments, a lot of shares, a lot of people engaging with it. So I thought it's only right that we take it a couple of steps further and we really dive into this subject. We're going to be coming with some absolute proof and hard evidence that this type of stuff exists, as we're going to look into one of the worst convicted offenders who made a lot of money and profited from such evil torment and torture on the dark web. And he was also involved in the live requests of torture of children, like what was just spoken about in the video I just shown you. And then after that, we're going to be talking about the Tor network, which is on the dark web, and also analysing its capabilities, if it does have the capacity for live stream and, on-demand live interaction, etc. Yeah, stick around because this one's going to be an interesting watch. So the demon at hand is a man named Peter Scully. He's an Australian national who was on the run for fraud. So to flee the police in Australia, he moved to the Philippines. And when he got to the Philippines, he was involved in one of the worst crimes that me personally has ever seen in my years of research and content creation in this field. So when he got to the Philippines, he decided to set up an underground network that exploited children in the worst imaginable way possible. Trigger warning here because this is horrible. Scully directed and sold videos of child abuse and torture on the dark web, making his profit from unimaginable suffering. And children as young as toddlers were forced into abuse, some children even being murdered. These crimes became infamous worldwide after the release of a video called Daisy's Destruction, which exposed the unimaginable scale of the things that this demon was doing. But obviously, he didn't work alone. He manipulated women from the local area to help entrap and lure these children in. Now, families that were struck from deep poverty from living in the Philippines were bribed and given money. Another example of how predators exploit the vulnerable in much poorer communities. I mean, come on, there's rumours of this stuff going on in Gaza, in the war-torn Ukraine. I've heard of similar things happening in Thailand. I also have a lot of friends that are from the Philippines, and they've told me that this stuff does go on. Some of the worst imaginable things. And that's why we have to really count our blessings that we're not put into situations like that. After all the infamous exposure from Daisy's Destruction, the Filipino police finally managed to catch him in 2015. And after a long trial in 2018, he was finally sentenced to life in prison for human trafficking charges and the rape of minors. This case revealed how online predators can use the dark web to exploit poor children across borders, and it highlights that this type of stuff isn't a local issue, it is a global issue. And some of these hidden communities on the dark web are some of the evilest outlets for pain, torture that you could ever imagine. Relating this back to the concept of red rooms, Peter Scully didn't just make recorded videos, he also arranged for it to be live streamed to paying customers. From all around the world, overseas, people were lining up with money to watch these sick acts. And according to court records, he filmed these acts on demand, with overseas customers paying large sums of money through cryptocurrency on the dark web. Official investigators confirmed that Scully offered real-time live sessions where paying customers could direct what happened to these children. So if you ask me, that is proof that red rooms exist. Maybe they're not directly done on the dark web, as we're going to look into that in a minute about the Tor network, but the gateway to red rooms is through the dark web. For this next section, we're going to look at the Tor network. Now, I'll be openly honest with you, I'm not super tech savvy, I don't know a lot about this type of stuff, so I've used ChatGPT for the research on this one. I remember years ago in university, I was with a friend and he was tech savvy and we went onto the dark web, and the thing that I remember the most was it was like a forum and someone written in this like sort of like Reddit style forum thing, what's the best way to sedate a child. Now that was enough for me. I didn't want to go any further. We were just being young and dumb and seeing what it was, being curious. But yeah, I'm not super clued up on the dark web, but we're going to take a look into why the Tor network doesn't have the capacity to live stream videos. So I asked ChatGPT, is there any way the Tor network on the dark web could host live streams? And this was its answer. Yes, but only poorly, rarely, and with big technical issues. It's not well suited to real-time, high-quality video streaming, and trying to use it for that carries practical performance and de-anonymization risks. Tor is optimized for remaining anonymous and not high bandwidth or low latency. Volunteer relays have limited bandwidth, and Tor circuits route traffic through multiple hops, which adds latency and reduces throughput that makes smooth low latency video that people expect from a live stream very difficult. I then asked, could violent red room style live streams be hosted on Tor? Its answer was, it's possible some abusive content distribution used dark web tools, including hidden services, encrypted marketplaces, or private networks to coordinate access. But live streaming interactive abuse in true real time to many external customers is technically awkward on plain Tor. In many documented abuse cases, perpetrators used a mix of tools, pre-recorded videos, private invite-only sites, payments via cryptocurrency, or intermediary services, not necessarily high-quality public live stream platforms. Law enforcement accounts of cases like Scully describe a combination of pre-recorded content, on-demand torture videos, and paid access rather than large public live stream events. So there you have it. It's not going to be like a TikTok live or a Twitch stream where you can literally just send gifts or something and people can do things on demand. But like I said before, the dark web is clearly a gateway for people who want to have access to things that are basically red rooms, the exact same concept, the exact same idea and sick methods. But in reality, they're probably not viewed and streamed from the dark web. These criminals obviously have found a way to provide a gateway and a path to get to some other form of encryption where they can do these evil demonic crimes. But let me know what you think. We've provided you with a substantial piece of evidence. We've also fairly debunked the Tor network and seen its capabilities, so it's up to you guys. Let me know in the comments. And once again, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you for episode 3.